Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Danny and today it is time for the second annual So What Did You Learn book tag. Last year I created this book tag as kind of a way for me to track and keep myself accountable for one of the reasons that I started this booktube channel, which is to learn something about my reading taste. And so I kind of made a goal to do this at the end of every year and ask myself to reflect on the year and what I've learned, and hopefully help myself in the coming year to pick better books for myself. So without further ado, let's get started. Prompt number one is what you've learned that you love. So for me, I'm going to say that this is the quirky horror genre. And I know I've only read one book that fits into this category, but I think it was a doozy. So I read The September House in October, pretty sure it was October, and absolutely loved the mix of horror, and it wasn't light horror either. There was some pretty spooky, creepy things, gory things that happened in this book, but they were taken with such a lighthearted, comical way with the main character that I really enjoyed, and so I would like to dig into that genre more in the year to come. I'm going to be starting with a book called Suburban Hell, which I got off of Nell Diamond's channel. She recommended it. I think it was one of the books that she plans on reading in the new year as well, and yeah, so that's one of the books that I will be reading that kind of fits into this subcategory. I am excited to continue my journey figuring out some more quirky horrors to read. Prompt number two is something you've learned you hate. For me, I will say that I think this year I have learned that I really don't like when I'm reading either a thriller, a mystery, a suspense, even horror, although I think less with that genre, although still some. I don't like to figure out who the murderer is or who the villain is early. I figured this out kind of bluntly when I read How Can I Help You?, which I really enjoyed this story. I really liked the relationships in this book and the perspective jumping back and forth between the two women in this book. But I think this book reveals way too early what is actually happening, and I wanted more tension. I think that I don't like it when the tension is broken too early. I want to be kept in suspense. I want to be kept in the dark. You can give me hints and clues all you want, but yeah, I think it completely disengages me whenever you give me answers too soon. Prompt number three is something that you've changed your mind on. For me, I'm going to pick something within the Booktube verse. I will say that I think I've changed my mind on sprints. Whenever I originally created my channel, sprints was definitely not something that I had my eye on. It was something that I enjoyed participating in on the sidelines and never thought that I would be involved on my own channel. And Brittany from Brittany Loves Reading and Leandra from Leandra the TBR Zero have both been very kind and helped me co-host or guest appear, I guess, on their channels to kind of dip my toe. And then I ended up with Bucket Listathon in November, hosting sprints on my own channel and having people on my channel, and I really did enjoy it. So you will see more sprints from me in the new year, more to come on this particular topic whenever I do my goals for 2024. Prompt number four is something that you found that has helped you pick better books. For me, so last year I said that just reading more has helped me do this, which I absolutely think that that's true. The more you read, the more you're going to know your taste. But I think this year I have found that the recommendations that I've gotten from other booktubers and listening to reviews of other booktubers have been really helpful. I don't take every recommendation that I get from a video, obviously, because that would just create a never-ending TBR, which it already is. But I think that when you find kind of your people on Booktube and people that you know you've read similar books to and you have similar taste, it just broadens the pool of books that you can trust that you're not going to hate. And I think it's been a really fun experience to take some recommendations from people, even people I don't know on Booktube who have recommended like their 5-star reads with the collaboration that I ended up doing with Nell on Nell Diamond's channel. The 5-star exchange I thought was really fun. And I think that that's also fun because so the prompt is to pick better books, not necessarily pick 5-star books. I think taking those book recommendations has helped me expand my reading as well, because I am very much a fantasy reader. I love fantasy books, and I could read fantasy all night, all day. It does not bother me. I don't ever seem to get tired of the genre. And so I do think it's nice to have some people kind of pull me into other genres, because I have found some really amazing books with those recommendations. From the 5-star exchange, I ended up reading I'm Glad My Mom Died, which is a nonfiction book, and I would never have picked up that book without that 5-star exchange, and it was fantastic. I have gotten more into sci-fi reads. I actually ended up picking up the 5th season with Leandra, and for one of our buddy reads, and I think I would have eventually read that book, but it definitely would have waited because it was a little bit of an intimidating read for me. And yeah, I think those types of recommendations, those types of expanding upon my realm and my like typical TBR has actually helped me figure out what I love about books and some new genres that I can explore as well. Prompt number 5 is something that you have learned has prevented your enjoyment of reading. So I want to be really intentional about this in the years to come, about really paying attention to my enjoyment of certain books and looking for patterns, because one of the things I have found this year that has prevented my enjoyment of books is deadlines. And I'm going to have deadlines. I have a Booktube channel, and so I'm going to have like an outline of things that I would like to do. But I think I can be more lax with myself and more go with the flow on certain things. And I think it will make my enjoyment of my reads more. There are a couple of things I have in my head of how I'm going to do this to where I can still have a routine of videos that I give you guys every week, but still allow myself the freedom to pick up books whenever I want to pick up books. There are always going to be deadlines as far as like library deadlines and Libby deadlines and video deadlines, but I do think I could be more intentional about giving myself the space to send a book back to the library without picking it up or pushing a video back a couple of weeks. Because I found a couple of times this year that I had a book, and there were, I think 2 times this year, I had a book that I was so excited about reading, and I was intentionally not picking up that said book that I was really, really excited about reading because I had these other books I had to read for certain deadlines and for certain obligations. And I think that prevented my enjoyment of those books, which I really think is unfair, because the books that I was picking up weren't necessarily things that I hated. They were just, in that instance, they were, in my mind, obstacles that I was having to get through to get to the book I really wanted to pick up. And so I think I need to be better next year about, if I am really excited about a book, to allow the mood reader in me to pick up that book. And, you know, it's okay if I miss some deadlines or if I have to push things back a little bit for the other books, because I think it's just going to help me in the long run. Prompt number 6 is the last prompt, and it is something that you've learned has improved your enjoyment of reading. So I actually have 2 things for this, which I'm really excited about. The first of which is buddy reading. I have really enjoyed diving into buddy reading this year. I had a couple of buddy reads the previous year, one of which was with Booktube with Amy, which kind of got me into the buddy reading journey. This year I have been buddy reading with Leandra, I've buddy read with Nala, I've buddy read with Jolene and Stevie, and I just have had so much fun digging into books with other people and being able to chat through my thoughts as we're reading, and seeing kind of how everyone else's organization too, like when I read with certain people, how they want to organize the buddy read has been an interesting experience too. But I will say that I think that this has improved my enjoyment of reading, not only because I've been reading some amazing books with these people, but also when I read some books I don't enjoy, it's nice to have someone to not enjoy them with, if that makes sense. To be able to talk through why I'm not enjoying a book and see their opinion. If they're enjoying it, maybe they can give me some perspective that I don't have. But also like just having someone to gripe with about a book has been nice. There have been a couple of books that I really have not enjoyed while buddy reading, but I still have fond memories of reading those books because of the people that I was reading them with. So I plan on continuing this in the new year. I've really enjoyed it. The second thing I have for this prompt is reading chunky books. I have absolutely loved my Chunky Check-In series this year. I thought it was a blast, and I have really found that I love a big book. You guys will see in my top books of 2023 that a lot of the top books that I'm going to talk to you guys about are going to be either on my Chunky Check-ins that I've done in the past year, or they're very close to being considered a chunky book. And so I just really, I've learned that about myself, that if I read and it's not always, I've read larger books that I did not enjoy, but I think that those books, those chunky books, live in my head more. And I think that because those stories are longer and the authors have more page time to dig into a character and dig into their world, I think that my headspace kind of aligns with those books a little bit more. I get attached to those stories more and they live in my head for a longer time. And so I really do think making that goal of picking up bigger books this year has improved my reading greatly. As for some booktubers that I would like to see do this book tag, I would love to see Leandra from Leandra the TBR Zero do this, Michaela from Michaela Reads, and Loda from Loda's Nook. And if you are a booktuber and I'm not tagging you in this video and you would like to participate in this tag, please do so and tag me in your video. I would love to check out your answers. If you are not a booktuber and you still want to answer these tags, please comment in the comment below what your answers to the prompts are. I would love to read through and chat with you guys about what you've learned about your reading taste this year. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you have a lovely evening, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.